Joeonit here. Got Ogre Smash as always. My first shortest brother.
I don't even know how to foot. What? Your first shortest brother?
Yeah. On the show.
I'm your tallest brother on the show.
Oh, on the show. Yeah, but you're my first shortest.
No. I'm the next shortest down from
You're
you.
my first shortest.
Okay.
And then it goes to Jersey, and then it goes to Butcher.
That still sounds like I'm in second place and I lost.
No, second's the best. Second's the best. Tell them, guys. Tell them in the comment section. Second's the best. Second's the best.
So, the first one, we're going to get right into it. The first one is 1792 small batch. It's a straight bourbon. It's a high rye, but Barton's, which is the distillery, does not give out what their mash bill is. So it's going to be at least 50, I want to say 51% corn. There's going to be some malted barley in there, and some folks guess that it's between 15 and 25% high rye or rye as part of the mash bill. There's no age statement on it, but it is a straight bourbon, and legally that means that with no age statement, it's going to be 4 years old. The youngest bourbon that's in here as part of the blend is going to be 4 years old. It's the flagship bourbon of the Barton Distillery, and there are multiple iterations like bottled in bond, full proof, many of those things. Sazerac owns Barton. Sazerac seems to own every distillery. I'm exaggerating a little. And it's $31 at Virginia ABC. It's sub $30 in so many different locations. So we're going to here. Give me your glass.
There's the glass.
All right.
Now, we are not on this show going to be attempting to get
Wasted,
smash hammered, or wasted. We are doing this simply for the taste, aroma, and
finish
delivery for you guys, so you guys are aware, so you want to get the legs running.
Well, what I'm doing right now is I'm giving it a nice little swirl job, an SJ, if you will. I stole that from Matt Madness on ADHD Whiskey. We're so small of a channel, he won't give a shit. And even if he did find out about it, he'd probably take it as a compliment. Give it a nice little swirl job. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Gonna take a.
Okay. That is. I don't know a better word to use right now. It smells hot. It smells warm.
Well, yeah. This. I mean, it makes it seem like it's only 93.3 proof, or 46.85% ABV.
Wow. Very spicy smelling.
Yeah.
Very, very spicy smelling.
Now, a lot of these taste notes that I've read about for small batch: caramel, vanilla. I am getting the vanilla. Yeah, and it definitely suggests that it's a higher proof. I know for a fact it's not, though. Okay. I don't know if you want to taste it. Cheers. That vanilla really does carry across, and I pick up the caramel that I was not picking up in the nose.
Wow. That is tasty. That is very, very tasty. A lot of taste, like a lot of tastes that my nose did not pick up. My tongue,
like
definitely.
Yeah, like some. So the finish of it, which basically is what lingers in your mouth after you've swallowed. Jersey knows all about that. Dates, like maybe raisins, something right in there. Just a little tiny Kentucky hug.
For those who don't know, could you express?
So Kentucky hug is, you know, that burn you feel when you take when you were just taking shots of alcohol when you were in your 20s and you weren't paying attention to what the hell it was you were putting in your mouth. You were just trying to get smashed, and then you'd feel that strong burn in your chest. It's called the Kentucky Hug when in reference to bourbon, because bourbon started in Kentucky. So
I just want to say something right here.
What?
So in your early 20s, you were just putting stuff in your mouth and you didn't care what it was? You heard it here. You heard it here right there. Didn't care what it was. Didn't care what it was. By the way, we are at the same table at the same place.
That is a good point.
Cross-screen thing.
We're not going to be always doing this, but
No. This was just the first episode. We figured we would do something live, in-person kind of thing. So, good stuff.
And we're also going to have to remember to project, because we're working with one microphone here.
Yeah.
And we don't have a high-end set. I don't know if you could tell.
No. Nothing back here. Just house.
But yeah, I mean I like the way the mouthfeel of it. It coats your mouth. Mm-hmm. It doesn't taste thin. Although for it only being a 93.3 proof, you would think that you'd get a thin mouthfeel. Like when by thin mouthfeel, I mean closer to water. Mm-hmm. Honestly, this is a budget bourbon that is good.
Yeah. Oh, I would definitely pay $31.
Yeah,
for sure. And that size?
Yeah, that's $7.50.
Wow.
$7.50. So, yeah, man, and it's you're not gonna. And here's the other thing: if you want to get into bourbon, because I can tell you how I got into bourbon. My buddy Drew kept trying to get me to drink bourbon every time I come over to his house, and I would out of respect, but it was always just so hot. When I first started, though, trying to get into it on my own, I tried it with ice for a short while. And look, you drink your whiskey the way you want to. I'm not going to judge you if you put ice in it. I'm not going to judge you if you put water in it. But that's how I started. And then that helped. That helped open the flavors a little bit for it. And also took the burn out. So made it easier for me to get all of the flavors without that ethanol burn. And then I went to drop a few drops of water, again, for the same reason, but the ice was watering down the whiskey too much. So that's why I went to water. And then I want to say this was over the course of a couple of months. And then I just went just neat bourbon. No water, no ice. And I can pick up those things now. And I was able to basically teach my palate how to pick this stuff. So this is something I think that if you want to start drinking bourbon, this is a very easy, affordable way to get into it with a quality bourbon. At this. This is better than some $70, $80 bourbons that I've had. So yeah, that is 1792 small batch. It is the lowest proofed one that we're going to be testing today, or tasting today.
Now, as you guys are more than likely aware, as far as I am concerned, I am not a drinker. I'm not really a drinker anymore. I have done some sampling here and there recently, or more recently.
Yep.
So I can definitely say, for somebody who doesn't really drink, I would definitely drink that again.
Yeah.
I would absolutely drink that again. The price hits for me. I mean, the flavors that I have just running around in my mouth right now, and now tracing up into my nasal cavity, is quite delicious. Yeah. And it is it's like the first, because I'm not a drinker, that first going down was like,
yeah.
Now it's got that
nice warm hug
feeling there.
Right.
Not bad. And
you've gotten past the ethanol burn, and so it's easier for you to taste the flavors.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See,
very good.
That's another thing. This is the first whiskey of the day for us, so we're gonna catch that ethanol burn on this first one. It's we actually do have a bonus fifth one. It's not the one we would want to start with because it's a very good one, but you wouldn't be able to enjoy it if it's your first whiskey of the day. I mean, I might be able to just because I'm used to drinking higher proof bourbons. Joe, on the other hand, not so much. And you know what? We probably should have introduced ourselves.
We should have probably done that. That's Ogre.
That's Joe.
Hi.
How you doing? Yo, want it. Okay. So we got Knob Creek here. This is going to be our second one. Again, this is Ogre, Joeonit. And we are doing the Whiskey Dummies review. Mm-hmm. This is our second of the day. And this one's going to be Knob Creek 9. Oh, satisfying cork pull. I love that. God, I love that. I don't know why I love that, but I absolutely love it. So this is Knob Creek 9. It is a straight bourbon, and Knob Creek gives us their mash bill. 77% corn, 13% rye, 10% malted barley. It's got a 9-year age statement on the bottle, and that means that the youngest bourbon that is in this blend is 9 years old. That's the youngest. It's owned by Beam Suntory, which is just the parent company of the distillery Jim Beam. Yes, Jim Beam. You know that rot gut. That distillery makes this Knob Creek. I mean, look, Jim, you drink what you like. Jim Beam, I'm used to remember. I'm just remember it from in my 20s because it was affordable garbage whiskey that was always there. You could always find it, and you weren't really worried about the taste, anyways.
He yells at me for when I used to drink Jack. So
I used to do it too. Now this is the more expensive of all of the offerings that we have today. It's $40 at the Virginia ABC. You can find it if you don't live in Virginia, because it's such a ubiquitous bottle. Knob Creek is it's everywhere. You're going to find it, for instance, in our the state north of us, Maryland. You're going to find it very frequently somewhere between 33 and 38. But for Virginia ABC, it's $40. It's 50% alcohol by volume. It's 100 proof. So we're stepping up a little bit from the last one we had. So let me pour this. All right. Oop, that's more than I intended. There you go.
All right.
Let me close this because if I don't, there's always the chance that I might make a mistake. We're going to give this one, definitely want to give this one a swirl job because this is a brand new opening. And there hasn't been any oxygen introduced to it. So usually what you want is you want your bourbons to open up. And the best way to do that is to give them an SJ. Swirl job. Again, I stole that from Matt Madness from ADHD Whiskey. And it's not my
ADHD Whiskey.
That is his YouTube.
Amazing.
That's his YouTube channel. And if you watch it, folks, I'm telling you, he's definitely ADHD. He's awesome. I've met him once.
Is he like us all over the place, or not as bad as us all over the place?
He's able to focus on whiskey.
Okay. So
but still some stuff comes up. And you're like, and he'll even say, I don't know where that came from, and he'll just keep rolling. Like, he does not stop. He doesn't pause. There's no ums. There's just, he rolls into a thought. He's like, he's on his thing right now, just talking about the bourbon that he's drinking, and then it reminds him of something. He slips right on into that. No stops, no pauses. And then realizes he slipped out of where he wanted to be. And then he's right back. All right, now, the nose on this is supposed to be thick caramel.
Yeah.
Toasted marshmallows, vanilla.
I'm definitely getting slammed by the vanilla right now. I'm absolutely getting slammed by the vanilla.
Now, I have a question for you. For me, I know the answer is for me. Do you think that the ethanol smell is coming through more on this than the 1792 small batch, or less?
Less for me.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Now, part of that could be because this is now our second whiskey of the day.
Well, I mean, it's still there.
Right. No, right, but it's not as bad. Right.
Nowhere near as potent as it was. No.
Boy, that caramel.
Yeah, I'm not really, maybe the taste, like the note, because on the first one there was some smells that we should have, but we didn't, but we tasted it.
Right.
I'm not smelling marshmallows. I'm smelling a lot.
Yeah, I don't smell the marshmallows either, but
it's a little caramel, or caramel, however you say it, and it really is the only way to say it. So
now,
definitely oak.
Oh yeah.
That is without a doubt.
Oh yeah, there's definitely oak in there.
It is slightly more potent than the vanilla, but vanilla and the oak are, for me, neck and neck.
Right. Now, for me, the caramel is coming through much more forward to me than the vanilla. I smell the vanilla. I do not smell the marshmallows. Mm-mm. I definitely smell the oak.
Yeah.
All right, let's go in for the taste.
All right. Wow.
Oh, wow, that's so good. Oh, my God, that's so good. Wow.
$40, you said?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
I'm going to toss that bottle back up on camera real quick just so people can see it.
Yeah, this is the
$40.
Knob Creek Bourbon Small Batch. Like I said, lots of people will refer to it as the Knob Creek 9. There is another 9-year. That's a I want to say a single barrel. But normally when you walk into an ABC store, most people know what you mean when you say you want the Knob Creek 9. That is. Yeah, I taste the vanilla more.
No marshmallow. I'm not getting any marshmallow.
I'm not either.
On the back end, I'm not getting any marshmallow at all. But everybody has different palates. And, that vanilla is warm.
Now, I don't know if it's just because it's been suggested to me, but one of the tasting notes I read was creme brulee. I tasted that right in the mid-palate just as I was swallowing. I do taste the creme brulee, but again, it could have been a power suggestion, but I think it's there. This is a really...
Well, I couldn't tell you the last time I had a creme brulee, so I don't remember what they taste like. But yeah, I mean...
It is kind of spicy. When you swallow it. On the finish, it is kind of spicy, which comes from the rye.
Yeah.
Usually that's where it comes from. Almost kind of minty.
Yeah.
Well, that's a common tasting note for ryes is mint. Although I do have a rye and some sample bottles for a future show. One of them has it's one of the ryes. It's the Prideful Goat. It's 6 years aged.
That's an awesome fucking name.
It is.
Prideful Goats.
It tastes like black pepper. Like that is one of the tasting notes in it. Is
like an initial or
no, like it's a prominent note. There's a bunch of other notes in there, but that black pepper sticks out, and you would think that doesn't sound good. It's good. It's
really?
good. It's good.
Well, so with is it the rye that's making this minty taste so prominent, or is it the mix of the oak rye kind of?
Well, the mint was more of a rye tasting note.
Okay.
The mint is now that doesn't mean that the oak can't be helping it along. That's where the spiciness can come from the oak, but the mint is prominently from a rye. Again, we're whiskey dummies. What the hell do I know? Signature bourbon.
Still Joe and
Ogre
Smash here.
From the Whiskey Dummies.
Yeah, from that.
Because we don't know anything.
Nothing.
Not a thing.
Nothing.
The next one we're going to do, Old Forrester, Signature. It's the orange label. It's got the orange around the band. The orange right next to the proof right down there at the bottom. This one's a 100 proofer. It is, 50% ABV. It's a straight bourbon. They give us the mash bill on this one as well. Now, again, these reviews are all about starting to get into whiskey. Now, the 100 proofers are a little bit harder to get, they're a little bit hotter if you're brand new to bourbon drinking or to, drinking for the taste in general. Because I know there are people out there that drink rum for the taste and people that drink tequila for the taste and not just to get slammed. And I realize that this is it's a bit high, but it's a very good offering from the Old Forrester Distilling Company that's owned by Brown-Forman. Brown-Forman owns a bunch of different distilling companies, but this one's easily and readily available. It is not expensive at all. It is $26. They have a 100 proofer, which I want to say is their Old Forrester. It's a bottled in bond, which is their Old Forrester 1897. I like this better. It's cheaper, and that's not the reason why. I just like the flavor better.
Can we toss in an explanation? What is bottled in bond?
So bottled in bond is it's got to be minimum. It's basically way back in the day, companies would try to get over. Distilling companies would try to get over on the consumer, and it was the government stepped in and said. They started making laws as to what bourbon had to be, and one of them was bottled in bond. So the distilling companies had to barrel their fresh freshly distilled bourbon, and they'd have to put it in a government bonded warehouse. Therefore, it was subject to inspections by the government. So, bottled in bond means guaranteed 4 years, 100 proof whiskey. It's a guarantee because the government guarantees it. And now we don't have to worry about the same type of things most of the time, at least not with our big distilleries, about being cheated. But back then, you knew that if you bought a bottled in bond or a bonded product that was American whiskey, you knew you were getting, at bare minimum, 100 proof, and it was going to be at least 4 years old. So that is what bottled in bond means. So anyway, so there's the bottled in bond, and then there's the old Forrester 100 proof, the signature bourbon, which, because there's no...
That is a noise I definitely...
Yeah, because I almost kept on pouring. There's no age statement on this one. So, by law, it has to be, at minimum, 4 years old. Now, Brown-Forman is, and Old Forester is a company that you can trust. You don't have to take just my word for it. You can listen to read every friggin' bourbon review out there. They are a company to trust. So, and like I said, I think this one's better than I think it's the 1897, whichever one it is. It's their bottle. It says bonded on the bottle. It's stamped. Looks like a stamp, bonded. I just don't like the flavor as much, and it's more expensive. So, what are we looking at?
Well,
I definitely smell red fruit. Now our notes say cherry, but yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing if the cherry spring that's saying here will be strong enough for me at least to smell over the caramel and the oak. I'm wondering.
Now this is a completely different nose profile than the first two that we've had, and part of the reason is that I went with this is because I wanted to do different distilleries so that we could have examples of different mash bills, what the larger companies that are out there doing this, what their profiles are.
There it is.
And again, this is a $26 bourbon, 72% corn, 18% rye, which is kind of high.
Yeah.
And 10% malted barley, which seems to be about standard.
I definitely did not smell the cherry on that first one.
Do you smell any red fruit?
When I stuck my nose all the way in there, I definitely smelled a hint, at least for me, a hint of a cherry smell.
Right. You know, it's too bad that Matt Madness that he came up with ADHD whiskey first. Because I feel like that would work for both you and and I recommend his channel. Absolutely. It's one of my subs that I watch every one of his videos. You don't smell like the fruit I smell
the cherry though.
Oh, you do smell the cherry? Yeah, well, because that's a good point. Because cherries aren't fruit. So
this guy jokes. Anyway, when I first just put it there, but when I put my nose in the glass, then I definitely smelled the cherry. Now I smell it, even without putting my nose all the way in.
Yeah,
I definitely
see.
Definitely,
it takes, and the more practice you get at it, the more you begin to appreciate all these things. Oh, you're going right in for that taste, ain't you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, put it right in his mouth.
Just like he did 20 years ago. Didn't matter what it was.
Oh my God.
You're welcome. It's delicious.
Caramel.
Yep.
Cherry.
Yep.
I taste candy banana.
A little bit.
You know, like runts banana.
Yeah.
Now, I'm glad that you taste that.
I do.
Because that is a signature note of Old Forester. There's a lot of their products have that candy banana in it. And one of the ones, like I've had the Statesman, which is created from a movie. That's an entirely different topic. But in my opinion, that one reminds me of like flagging down a troop of fucking monkeys. There's so much banana in it.
No, I definitely.
I do like that.
It's just sitting right there.
Okay.
Like the banana, the more I swallow actual just saliva.
Yeah, that's the finish.
The banana is coming out more.
Yep. Are you getting any pepper? Like a little bit of black pepper, a little bit, just a little bit, right?
A little bit of crack in there, a little bit of crack.
Cracked peppercorn.
Peppercorn.
This motherfucker. This.
I you know what I meant.
He said he tasted a little bit of crack.
It's like Coca-Cola from the 70s. Come on now. No?
Oh my Lord. And again, for $26.
Yeah.
So far, of all the ones we've had here, this is my favorite. We started off with 1792 small batch. We then moved on to Knob Creek 9, or their small batch. And now we're at Old Forrester, their signature bourbon. Again, the orange label, and by orange label, they just mean this little ring around the top here. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but you see where I'm pointing. Yep. That's where you're going to want to look at it in the store. And then there's a little orange thing right next to the proof down at the bottom of the front.
What does it say? Does it say 1970? What does that say right there?
I don't know.
1870.
1870.
1870. Yeah. So on the orange label, you'll see 1870.
Well, that might be. That's just the established year. So they might have 1870. They've got a blue label, which is 86 proof.
So that's
I think that's when they were created. You know, if I'd done some research on this, I'd know what year that they were established.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm a perfect person for this show. Whiskey Dummies. Right there.
But for $26.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about the cheapest one of the three that we've had so far.
Mm-hmm. I'd put this, for me, I'd put this at close to the 40 as far as taste, personally.
So you like the Knob Creek better?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so the last one okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It just has with that sit.
Oh, my God, that pepper. Oh, that black pepper.
With that sit of
right
the
there at the back.
Pepper and then the cherry.
Yeah.
Just sitting right there. It's
I very much enjoy this.
Yeah.
Our fourth and probably last, maybe
last
of this video, Wild Turkey 101. Now, Wild Turkey 101 has a bad reputation.
It does.
There was a guy named Matthew McConaughey.
Yep.
He did a movie.
Yep.
And that reputation is not deserved.
No.
It's not. Wild Turkey 101, it's straight bourbon, which, again, there's no... on their website, they say it's a blend of 6 to 8 year old bourbons. So it is a blend, which all of the bourbons that we've done today have been blends. But that's still 68 years old.
Yep. Off the top of your head, how old is just regular Wild Turkey? Do you know off the top of your head?
Not off the... You mean the 86 proofer? Not off the... Yeah, well, yeah. No, unless it's age stated. So you can age state... You can still be Kentucky straight whiskey. And I believe the minimum is it's got to be 2 years old. Okay. I'm 95% sure I'm right about that. I'm sure somebody, if this ever makes it into the whiskey tube sphere, will clearly let me know that I'm wrong.
Oh yes, they will inform you of how.
But it has to be age stated.
Yeah.
So it has to say 2 years. Has to say 3 years. And again, that has to be the youngest. If it's a blend, that has to be the youngest. So you could have a 2 year and a 10 year blended.
Wow.
And it's still going to have to be age stated 2 years.
Oh, okay.
Right? And given how whiskey's going crazy right now, there's not a chance that's going to... Well, I don't want to say not a chance, but it's very unlikely that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, Wild Turkey gives us their mash bill. It's 75% corn. It's 13% rye. It's 12% malted barley. Like I said, it's a blend of 6 to 8 year old bourbons. Probably the most recognizable brand from Wild Turkey. Now, the only caveat to that is that most people don't. They just think Wild Turkey.
Yeah. And that's it.
But the 101. Now this is the 1.75 liter. The 101 is nice and bold on here. I don't know if the camera's picking that up or not. But you might see that in the B-roll because I did a little bit of B-roll on the 750 milliliter bottle. It's right next to the regular 86. Now by the way, that's also a perfectly viable option. Mm-hmm. You do not have to start with 101. You do not have to go with my recommendation because I can tell you from experience that the flavor profile is similar. It's got a thinner mouthfeel. Mm-hmm. And it doesn't have the same kind of Kentucky hug, but it's a very similar profile.
Yeah.
So if you're like, I don't know, if 101 seems kind of high for me, that's fine. Yeah. Go with the regular Wild Turkey. I promise you, at some point, you will want to switch to the 101. If you like the 86, you will want to switch to the 101. And now it doesn't say 86 on the bottle; it just says Wild Turkey. I swear I'm so mad at Matt Madness for having ADHD whiskey because I have 1,000 things running through my brain right now. Okay, it's
dealing with him on a daily basis. It's fun.
Yeah, and my 10-year-old daughter, she's exactly like me.
I was going to say, and I don't live with him. It's fun. I can only imagine what it's like.
Now, the distillery is owned by the Campari Group. I think I'm pronouncing that correct. And distiller is Wild Turkey. Wild Turkey makes a bunch of really good products. Wild Turkey, obviously, 101 is the most popular, most recognizable, but they also make Russell's Reserve. They make a bunch of different Wild Turkey products. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I can't write. I had one just in there, another well-known brand of bourbon that is made by Wild Turkey or distilled by Wild Turkey. The 750 milliliter bottle at ABC, Virginia ABC, $27. $1 more from our last offering, which was the Brown-Forman Old Forrester Signature. Mm-hmm. You can find it. I mean, you can find it. I've heard of people finding it in other states as much as $20. So, but I can just go with what I have readily available to me. You're always going to be able to find Wild Turkey 101 on the shelves. It's 50.5 ABV. It's 101 proof, thus the Wild Turkey 101. So let's take a pour of this.
Sure. I'm interested to see. I mean, I'm looking at it in the bottle, but that's a lot. I want to see through the thinner. Oh, wow. I don't know if you guys have been noticing the last. You probably can't see it from that far away, but I'm kind of
checking out the color.
Checking the amber here.
Yep.
Of them, if you will, and.
Now, typically, you're not going to find, unless this is the right color. This is the color that you should normally expect for things that are anywhere from 6 to 10 years old. I mean, even 4 years old, right? This is the color you should expect. You're not typically going to see the darker colors unless it has been finished in another type of barrel. For instance, that somebody might take a port barrel, take their bourbon that has finished aging, let's say 8 years, right? And then they pour it into another barrel. The aging has ended, by the way, because that's how American bourbon or American whiskey works. You barrel it in; it has to be barreled in American oak, and you can pick the char level that you want, which is what helps add color as well as flavor. But once you take it out of that barrel, that original barrel, it's no longer aging. Even if you want, you can say it's aged another 2 years in another oak barrel, for instance. You still can't say, let's say it was an 8-year and you aged it for another 2 years. That is not a 10-year whiskey. That is still an 8-year whiskey.
All right, so I'm going to go by the nose notes here. We got sense of vanilla, baking spices, which I immediately hit. Baking spices immediately.
And the peppery notes of rye.
Oh, yeah.
The peppery notes of rye. Now, I can barely keep it in my pants, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try until we get Joe's. It's a figure of speech.
Okay.
It's a figure of speech. I would never do that on camera.
Leave the Clydesdale in the corral.
I would never do it on camera.
I do. All right. Inhaling deeper admits sense of toasted oak, toffee, and a punch of ethanol, which I didn't really get that.
Well, but here's the reason why I think we're on our fourth.
Yeah,
we're on our fourth.
It's later in,
and you're used to it. No, but you've also been
All right, so let's take a deep. I'm gonna stick my nose up deep in it. I'm gonna take a big sniff and see if I can get some toffee or toasted oak?
I get the vanilla, I get the baking spices, and I get the peppery note of the rye grain.
Toasted oak. Just
I definitely get toffee.
The lungs.
But here's the other thing. Here's the other thing that's not on this list. Here's the other thing that's not on this list. Cinnamon.
Yeah. I think that's the most of the spicy.
Yeah, well, they can call, I guess, cinnamon is a baking spice, but I mean, of the baking spices that are in here, cinnamon is the one I smell.
Oh yeah.
It's the only one I smell.
Oh yeah.
Of those spices.
Maybe.
God, that smells so good.
Off the top of my head, what is the other stick spice besides cinnamon?
Well, the vanilla bean.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and vanilla. I mean, I definitely smell vanilla.
It's not as powerful though.
No, the cinnamon. The cinnamon is punching me in the face.
Yeah.
I mean, not like your gross. What are the fake cinnamon whiskeys? What do I think? Give me an example. Fireball. Not like that. Not like that. When I say it's just like when I said like it was flagging down a troop of monkeys on the old Forrester. Mm-hmm. It's not that powerful. It's not like you open up the bottle and you're like, whoa, candy banana. Yeah. No, you gotta dig for it, but it is.
It's there.
It's there, and it's a powerful note.
Yeah, and like that one that we did with the bananas. It wasn't there initially. It took a little bit for me, at least. It took a little bit for it to show itself.
Well, I think the other thing is that you didn't necessarily know what you were looking for, and when I said banana, I saw like a spark of recognition on your face, like. That's what I was smelling.
That's what it is. Yeah, that's what that is.
Let's go in. That is so well balanced. That is
$27.
That is so well balanced. The Kentucky Hug is just now coming there, and you saw. I finished that 6 or 7 seconds ago. It's warm. That's cinnamon.
Yeah, I'm tasting something. Hold on a second. I gotta take a look at your little notes here. Corn present.
That's the mouthfeel. Rye spices. So I do taste the pepper in there.
Yeah.
I taste that oak that's coming through. I definitely taste the vanilla. But for me, the overriding flavor that I'm tasting in here is cinnamon. And again, I'm not talking about Fireball cinnamon. Yeah. I'm talking about like raw cinnamon, like real cinnamon, not candy cinnamon.
Stick.
Yes.
Like freshly ground.
Right. And it's not overpowerful like if you were to put take a bite out of a cinnamon stick. Not that I would know what that's like, but it's what?
Toffee. That's what I'm tasting.
Is that what you're tasting? Is the toffee? Okay.
Because I'm looking here and I was like, why?
What am I tasting? What am I tasting?
There's something there, and I could not. So I can't smell it. Even on the deep inhale, as this note says, I can't smell it.
Yeah, I can't smell it either.
But the toffee is
sitting you're right. It's there.
At the back of my tongue, it's sitting there.
Yeah, okay.
I didn't know what it was at first, and then when I looked back up and I saw toffee, I was like, that's what it is.
And this coats your mouth really well. So after you finish drinking, you still are tasting. I'm still tasting. When I just put my glass down 10 seconds ago? Mm-hmm. I'm still tasting it.
Oh yeah.
That cinnamon is this is not going to sound right coming out of my mouth. It's lovely. It's friggin' lovely. It is.
I don't have to say anything on that one. I just a couple of points, and they'll get my thought. Anyway, $27, you say, huh?
$27. Yeah. Well, are you motivated, perhaps, to buy a bottle finally at this point?
I don't know. I don't know. We may be getting there. We may be getting there.
I'm telling you, this
and it's not. It's honestly, we're all older now. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I used to buy when I was younger. That looks good.
What was on sale? What was the cool name?
Yeah.
What was the artwork?
I think that's why I really got turned on to Jack as much as I did. Was because that's what a lot of people drank.
Right, exactly. Everybody always called it, number 7.
The black label, the
which,
green
by the way,
label, the fucking red label.
Right.
And there's
a whole bunch. They have a bottle and bond. I don't know if they have a blue label. They might, but they've got bottled and bond. They've got barrel proof. They've got
the single barrel malt. That was good. I actually have an empty of that was given to me from a gift.
Old number 7, in my opinion, not good. However, as a sipping whiskey.
It does what it needs to do.
Yeah, I was going to say, it'll get you there.
If you need a job done,
right.
Jack's your man.
Yeah, but then why not just get Evan Williams because it's cheaper?
True.
But
true. That is very true.
But Jack Daniel's has some offerings that are really good.
Yeah.
Now the flavor profile on Jack Daniel's is peanuts. Like that's peanuts. Like you're an elephant. Peanuts. I mean, it's so peanutty. Just take a spoonful of peanut butter. I'm exaggerating to demonstrate a point.
Not the spoon behind his desk.
No, not the spoon.
Definitely not that spoon.
That's
for
Jersey.
You're welcome.
Yep. What? All right. So are you saying this is your favorite one so far?
I would say that this is. I mean, that last. What was the other one? What was
the one you liked the most previously was Knob Creek.
Knob Creek one, yeah. Yeah, the Knob Creek. I mean, but this is really good too. But I'm still.
Oh, you're still on the Knob Creek, are you?
Yeah, I'm still on the Knob Creek.
Wild
Turkey. Knob Creek kick.
Right. Wild Turkey 101 is easily my favorite for a go-to bourbon.
But see, Wild Turkey, that was another one of those big names.
Right.
When I was younger.
Right.
That people were like,
yeah. It's got a bad reputation. It's got a bad reputation.
Very, very bad reputation. But I did have. This is probably about 7 or 8 years ago. I actually did have some regular, just the what is it?
Oh yeah, 86. It's 86 proof, but it's just called Wild Turkey.
I had the regular Wild Turkey, and I remember going, "Oh wow, look at that Wild Turkey!" And all those old memories came in, and it was like just sitting behind whatever, drinking it, just pretty much out of the bottle sometimes.
Right,
drinking it out of the bottle and being like, ugh.
Yeah.
But then when I tasted it, and it was from a proper,
This is a Glen Cairn, by the way. This box costs us $30 on Amazon.
It did.
For 6 of them. You can get them cheaper.
You can. But a proper rocks glass.
Right.
Was at about half full of the Wild Turkey. I remember it having a completely different feel. Now I'm 42. 8 years ago I was 34.
I'm 32. 8 years ago I was 24.
He's a fucking liar. But he tries to be a good one and it doesn't work. You have too honest of a face. That's what it is.
Okay. Yep.
Buy that for $1.
Yeah. That's all?
Yeah.
Cool.
Maybe 50.
Anyways, I'm sorry. I interrupted your thought.
But I remember it just having a completely different feel, and I have that. I've never had the 101.
Right. Okay. Well, you probably have. You just don't remember it.
I probably don't remember it.
Yeah.
Did I have it?
You probably did. I mean, you've had Bacardi 151 too. I'm sure.
I definitely have had Bacardi 151.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, I've had a lot.
Yeah.
With the people that we used to hang out with.
Yeah. Oh.
You excluded.
Some
comfort.
Anyways, back to the whiskey though.
Yes. It's tasty. Mm-hmm. It is tasty. And if 27 or 25 in some places, that is.
Oh yeah.
Quite.
The 1.75 liter is $40 in Maryland. It's $52 in Virginia.
So what would be the size for the 25?
That's the 750. All the prices I've given today are based on 750 milliliter, which is the standard size bottle. It's just that with really popular stuff, they will sell the larger handles of that. And 101 is never not in my house. There have been other things that I have let slip and have been realized too much. For instance, the two that I bought today, which were the Old Forrester Signature 100 proof and the Knob Creek small batch, they're normally in my house. I finished them. I forgot to refill them. This is what I personally go to when I just want to have a little bit of sipping, like an ounce or two, just to end the evening. Mm-hmm. But I'm not looking for anything crazy or complex, or I can't make up my mind on what crazy and complex I want. I will just go, you know what? What never fails me is Wild Turkey 101. So
you would classify that possibly as an easy nightcap?
Oh yeah, it's infinitely sippable. Infinitely. I cannot imagine. I started very early on in my bourbon journey about 4 years ago with 101, And actually, I think I started off with the regular one, and then I went up to the 101, and then I've always had it in the last 4 years in my house. So that's Wild Turkey 101. Again, infinitely crushable. Thank you, Dan Shook from the Bourbon Junkies. Infinitely crushable. And what was I saying? I just lost my train of thought. So easily crushable, inexpensive, and available everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, if you walk into a liquor store
and they don't have Wild Turkey 101, leave.
Well, you don't see Wild Turkey anywhere, even a sign.
Right.
The sign of Wild Turkey in there, walk out.
One of the largest, most recognizable distilleries amongst the normies, which, in fairness to Joe right now, that's what he is. I'm trying to convert him. And as well as to the people that are way above me in the bourbon game. Way, way, way above me. It's just so instantly recognizable. Now, as a little bonus, welcome back to the Whiskey Dummies. Just a little bonus here. I brought something that is infinitely affordable. That is not the one I wanted. That's the one I wanted.
Wow, I almost just said something really fucked up, but I'm gonna leave it for later.
Old GrandDad. 114.
114.
That's right. It's a mid-proofer. Now, you think of Old GrandDad and you think, come on, that's one of those budget whiskeys that you're just drinking to get drunk on. Yeah, some people do that. Mm-hmm. They've got regular Old GrandDad. They've got Old GrandDad Bonded. Another one of those bottled and bonded products that we talked about previously. And then they've got Old GrandDad 114. It's a mid-proofer. And by mid-proofer, I'm talking about in the teens. You know, somewhere between the 107 and 118, 119 range. That's what most people, at least from the videos I've watched, call mid-proofers. Then you get in your 20s and your 130s, and now you're talking about high. Mm-hmm. That's high proof. Mm-hmm. Old GrandDad is straight bourbon. It is...
Scratching the inside.
Oh, I thought you were looking at your watch like you had someplace to be.
I don't have anywhere to go. I'm right here with you, brother.
63% corn, 27% rye. That's pretty high. 10% malted barley. There's no age statement on here, so you know that the youngest bourbon in this blend has to be 4 years old or older. It's owned by Beam Suntory. So this
I'm sorry, I have to cut you off. That is the highest rye out of all of them by a
considerable
amount.
Yeah. Well, now the 1792. Yeah, but the 1792 people suspect that it's between 15 and 25 because we don't actually have the mash bill from Barton's.
And then we have the Knob Creek sitting at 13 and the Old Forrester sitting at 18. So,
yeah.
I mean,
no, it's significant. It's a significant rye portion of the mash bill.
So do you think, real quick, not to interrupt you again, but do you think because of the high percentage of rye that there might be a little bit more minty of a taste?
It's entirely possible. It's entirely possible. This is another Jim Beam product, which is what the Knob Creek was. It's $30 at Virginia ABC. It's sub $30, like all over the country. It's sub $30. If you spend more than $40 on this, never go to that liquor store again, because it's available. This is not an allocated product, and this is not the video for me to explain what allocated products are. But it's very available. Every ABC store that I've walked into, and I live in a close to a podunk portion of Virginia, every single one of them has Old GrandDad 114. Okay, it's 57% ABV, and it's 114 proof. Thus, the Old GrandDad 114.
Yep.
Do not think of this if you're getting into the bourbon drinking game. Time to play the game. Sorry, my ADHD. I can't help it. Yep. Do not think of this just because it's a cheap bottle with high proof that there's nothing to it. Okay, this is just to get drunk. Hold on, let's see if we can still get a pop. Oh. Not as good as the Knob Creek.
Oh, no.
But, you know, I've opened this puppy several times. I don't know if you can tell.
Cork's got a little wear to it.
Nice big wide mouth.
Oh, I see.
Sort of like Joe. I don't even have to look up to see that face. Oh, well, you know what? I gotta be fair. There we go.
Sure.
This is the last one of the day, folks. So.
Okay. So immediate.
Let's give it a nice little swirl job. And SJ, thank you once again, Mad Madness from ADHD Whiskey, for making up that phrase. At least I believe you're the one that makes it up. You're the only one I hear use it consistently.
Unlike HJs, like Ogre gives out for free.
Or ZJs that Joe gives out for free.
ZJs?
If you have to ask. You can't afford it. You've never seen the movie Beer Fest?
Oh.
Get a nice little swirl. And look, you can see it just like bouncing.
Yeah.
Bouncing. All right, let's see if I poured too much in. I did not. So here's one of the wonderful things about a Glencairn. Now, Joe, you should do the same thing. Okay? And the reason why is just now let it roll a little. What it does is it coats the glass. Now grab it before it spills. It coats the glass. And now you'll notice that you're getting a lot more.
Wow.
Yes, that is why the Glencairn it didn't come by this shape accidentally.
I thought this was just I mean, I've seen other glasses like this before. I thought this was just a style thing.
No. So part of it is that you've got a big bell at the bottom.
Yeah.
So even if you don't do what he and I just did, it's gonna funnel the smells up into the smaller mouth of the glass.
It's going to chimney it.
Right. But if you then roll it and you coat the inside of the entire glass, you get a lot more.
Holy crap.
We're learning shit on the Whiskey Dummies, aren't we?
We aren't so dumb. We're still dumb.
No, yeah, we're definitely still dumb.
But we're not so dumb anymore, as we are learning stuff.
We're less bigger dummies than we were before, but we're still big dummies.
Yes. Maybe we could take off one of the S's at the end of dummies.
Yeah, sure. I mean, take one off and we'll have 74 left.
Exactly.
Now, it says the nose is definitely going to put hair on your chest. I mean, it is definitely...
There's some Jesse in the body.
Yeah. It is definitely, it's 114. It's more potent. You're going to smell the ethanol. It's going to hit you. But we've also had 4 now at this point, so it's not hitting as hard as it would if this was the first glass that we started.
Killed me.
Yeah, you would have been like, you'd been like, Ogre, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this channel anymore.
No,
the hell with this.
I don't want to play anymore. I'm good.
I do smell cinnamon. Brown sugar. This is the first time that I have smelled brown sugar. On I haven't even tasted it on any of the other ones.
I tasted it, but it was very,
did you?
light. Not even for me. Not even.
I'm sure it wasn't like maple. No, it was brown sugar.
Oh, okay.
That rye heat. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay.
Let's go. Whoa.
Fruit. A little citrus.
Whoa.
All over, right? Your whole mouth is awake, isn't it?
Oh. Wow.
I'm telling you, folks, drinking isn't just for getting drunk. Don't get me wrong. You will get drunk if you drink like this.
Yes.
But you can enjoy that ride. Somebody said that I know.
Yeah.
Enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride.
Yeah. He's a piece of shit though. So
this is this is
fruit.
Definitely a
Orange peel.
A outdoor
Mm-hmm.
campfire.
Mm-hmm. Colder evening.
Oh yeah, right now.
Yeah.
Right now would be perfect. I mean, what do we just real quick? We're sitting at about where we're at, sitting at about 47 degrees outside, roughly.
The tasting note, hold on, perfectly captures what's happening with the body language you're seeing from Joe right now. This bourbon commands all of your attention and then some.
Oh yeah, it definitely is. This is.
It coats your entire mouth. Even when you're done drinking, it's still.
It's not even so much the
tingling.
Proof. Like I can definitely.
Oh yeah,
the
sure.
Proof is there.
Yes.
The proof in the pudding.
Yeah.
It's there.
Yeah.
But it's the taste. It's the flavors. It's just the slam.
And they don't. They linger.
Yeah, they do.
They linger.
Kind of like, and it's like they're lack of a not a really drinker person. It's like they're high-fiving.
Yeah.
Like they're tag team.
Yep.
WWE style, like, hey, I'm in. Oh, I'm in. Hey, I'm in. Oh, every time I swallow saliva, it's like a different.
It's good.
Different flavor.
It's good.
That's insane. Wow.
It's good.
Fruit, but very firm.
Yep.
Fruity, but very firm. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Rye character is present along.
Yep.
With
You definitely. There's some rye spices in there. A little bit of mint. I mean. The thing is that it's a higher proof, so that mint is not coming through as easily. But it's there. It's definitely there.
It's not as, which is weird. Why?
The brown
is because of the brown sugar.
No. I think it's because it's the higher proof. I think it's
cutting it's cutting the mint.
I think it's confusing it. I think it's confusing your palate as well as mine. It's confusing your palate, and so you're just not catching the mint as well.
Okay.
I imagine that if you decided that you wanted to have a nice evening of sipping bourbon and you got yourself up to 114 and then you just finished out the evening with old GrandDad 114, that you would eventually start, your palate would open up even more, because that's part of what the alcohol is doing, is opening up your palate so that you can taste these flavors.
Yeah.
Because you don't take, if we had started with this tonight, you wouldn't have tasted the flavors. No. Your palate would not have been opened up.
No. The gradual, the step ladder,
if
you will,
Yeah.
moving up between the different.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that any of they're all very good.
Right.
They're all very good. They all just have their own traits and characteristics. I mean, a lot of the flavors are the same. You have the caramel, you have the oak, you have some vanilla in some.
A lot of that comes from that barrel.
But they're all very, very good. They're all very, very tasty. And this has been. This one here has been.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Amazing.
Would you have expected that, given the?
I really thought because of how high.
Old GrandDad.
Well, because of how high the proof was, I thought that was just going to drill me.
Yeah.
And it didn't.
Well, here's the other thing, though. Old GrandDad's made fun of.
Yeah, I know. I've heard.
I mean, it's made fun of.
Yeah.
You just think of that as it's just some cheap ass whiskey that you're getting to get drunk.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you got.
I mean, and you can definitely. Yeah. You can definitely do that.
Yeah. Oh, I could definitely.
Oh, but and we're talking about a $30 bottle, and in some places sub 30.
For 114 proof.
Yes, a more complex. Here's the other thing. Would you say that this is more complex? There's more going on.
Oh yeah. Oh, by far.
Right.
Out of all 5 of these, this has definitely the largest service.
Yeah, there's so much more going on here. Yeah. It's more complex.
Yes.
Now, you enjoyed the Knob Creek, which was $40.
I did.
Would you say that this is more complex than Knob Creek?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Would you say that you enjoyed this more than Knob Creek?
Absolutely.
Okay. That's fine.
Without a doubt at all.
Now, again, this is not something that you want to start off with, especially if you're new to drinking bourbon.
No.
And even as somebody who's been tasting bourbon for what it is, and rye whiskeys and American whiskeys in general, for the last 4 years, maybe I've tried 114 a few times to start off, and just because of my palate, I've been able to enjoy it. But I always enjoy Old GrandDad 114 after at least one other bourbon that's a lower proof.
That heat on another
$30. It's easily the best of the 5 that we've tried tonight. Mm-hmm. So we started off with 1792 small batch. Yes. It's good. It's $31 I think at ABC. Yep. Virginia ABC. It's good. It's very good. It's also the lowest proof one that we started with.
Yes.
It's a good way. It's a good place to start.
Yep.
Even if you're going to put some ice in it, even if you're going to put some water in it.
Sure.
Great place to start.
Sure.
Then we went up to the Knob Creek.
Yep.
Small batch, which is 100 proof. That one's $40 at Virginia ABC. Again, it could be a sub $40 bottle depending on where you're at, because it's everywhere, right? Also very good. We've stepped up the proof a little bit, but it's still it's very flavorful.
Yes.
It's got a decent finish. Then we went to the Old Forrester signature, the orange label, 100 proof again.
Which again is distinct. Look for that orange label around the neck of the bottle.
Different flavor profile here. We got bananas in there. More brighter fruits in there.
Which, as Ogre mentioned just before, I didn't know what it was until you said bananas, and I was like, "That's
exactly what it was." And then that one's a $26 bottle. And then we went to Wild Turkey 101, which everybody knows. Everybody's heard of Wild Turkey 101. $27 for a 750 milliliter. Cinnamon. We still got some of those other darker flavors like caramel and vanilla and
spices,
but the cinnamon is
really there.
For me, that was a fuller body, and a better flavor profile. It matches my taste. But Joe thought that Knob Creek was still his number one, but Wild Turkey 101 was right up there with it.
Oh, it was. It definitely was.
Right, and then we went with a bonus, just because I didn't think either one of us were too inebriated after 4. So we went with the old GrandDad 114.
This is just bomb. This is Grand Slam.
It's another level up. It's the next level up from these easy drinkers. Like I didn't do Buffalo Trace because it's not easily findable. I thought about doing it. I thought about bringing it, but because everybody's heard of Buffalo Trace because there's some sort of hype now, it's a perfectly fine. Don't get me wrong, it's a perfectly fine bourbon. I like drinking it, and it would have been another profile of bourbon to drink, but it's not easily findable, which is why I didn't bring it.
Yeah,
and why we didn't do it in this video. It's perfectly fine, but this is another level up.
Well, that's not to say that we won't do maybe.
Oh no, I'm sure we will. Yeah, absolutely. We'll do a bunch of Buffalo Trace products. I'd be happy to do that.
Sure.
But for today, it's in the same price range of everything that we drank today, but it's a totally different level of bourbon. It is probably, I don't think that I'm going to get much pushback on this from anybody in the community as far as a mid-level proof bourbon. It's probably the best value for the dollar.
I would agree with you.
Because it's cheaper than $17.92, which I don't know anybody that doesn't enjoy $17.92. It's cheap by $1. It's only $1, but still
cheaper.
Still cheaper. And it's only $4 more than the 101.
Yeah.
Or no, $3 more.
$3.
Yeah. $3 more than Wild Turkey 101. It's only $4 more than the Old Forrester signature. And it's $10 cheaper than the Knob Creek 9.
Yeah.
And these are all names that you regularly see when you go to the liquor store.
Oh, absolutely. You have not had a name or company that I don't know who they are.
Right.
And I don't know.
You've never heard of,
Yeah, I've definitely heard of each one of these companies.
Yeah, and in your 20s, you were like, oh, no, there's no way I'm spending $30 on that bottle. I can go get Jack for $20.
That's right. That's right. I could get 2 bottles of Jack for the price of one Knob Creek bourbon small batch.
Yeah. So anyways.
It was a good time.
Good time.
This was definitely a good time. Again, I am not a drinker, but this is definitely, for a non-drinker, this is definitely a kind of like when you're in a cozy spot.
Eye-opening?
Yeah, well,
perhaps?
it's eye-opening.
Yeah.
But when you're in a cozy spot,
okay.
when it's cooler out, like a winter, like late fall, maybe just really.
Oh, you're talking about this one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, no, I mean all of them for me.
Oh,
honestly.
okay.
Even drifting further into the beginnings of a winter type of situation, this is something that would just be really, really good. You're outside, working,
right?
Whatever.
Yeah.
You get home, you want to toast up real quick, without getting completely.
Right.
A little bit of this
Yeah.
will warm you up. I feel very warm. Inside right now. I feel very warm inside.
Well,
and I felt very warm, in all seriousness. I felt very warm, or comfortably warm. Not that I'm uncomfortable now, but I felt comfortably warm after the second tasting that we did. And I really don't feel that the warmth has gotten too much.
Right.
I feel very nice.
Right, because you're not drinking to get drunk right now.
Exactly.
You're drinking to enjoy it. Well, first off, you're drinking for the video,
well,
for the material. But you're trying to taste it. You're trying to enjoy it. You're not just going. Give me the next one.
How much could you fit in this that you would be comfortable with?
That I would be comfortable with? I typically, now there's been times that I've overfilled, but I'll usually go right to the middle of the bell in the glass, and that's about 1.5 ounces.
Okay.
Which is
is
less than that. I think we've been at 3/4 ounce to 1/2 ounce.
So we're not even doing a full shot.
This last one I did a little too much on because I knew there was no way you weren't going to enjoy it. So this one might have gotten the full 1.5 ounces, but all the rest of them were 1/2 ounce to 3/4 ounce.
So not even that much of it.
Yeah. Oh no, we've had
warms you.
Yeah.
Taste wise and everything.
Yeah.
You don't need much to enjoy.
Right. Absolutely. And here's the other thing that I've noticed that I really enjoyed. So, and we're almost done here. I promise.
Yep.
When Jersey came down a couple months ago, and we sat around the table, and a certain person went to sleep. But before he went to sleep, I enjoyed all three of us sitting at the table talking about the whiskey that we were drinking. And I continued to enjoy talking about the whiskey that we were drinking as though it were an experience to have. Not the experience was the drinking and the tasting, and not the let's go have an experience and get our brains muddled to have the experience.
Yeah, absolutely. That honestly, that was I think that was the first time that I had drank
in a while. Other than a camping trip.
Yeah, other than the camping trip, it was definitely the first time that I had drank in a while.
Right.
And I had a very good, laid back, it was quite the experience because I've never done a tasting of any type. I've never done a beer tasting. I've never done a wine tasting.
Yeah.
I've obviously, until that night, never done a liquor or whiskey tasting.
Yeah.
So it was quite an experience, and I would say it was
because you weren't drinking for the sake of drinking.
Well, yeah, I wasn't trying to just trying to get sauced. It was no, dude. There's
why does Ogre care so much about this?
Yeah.
Why does he care? There's more to this than what I had done before.
Oh yeah, you're not supposed to just take the whole bottle and until your chest is on fire. You're like, there is a reason behind the combinations. Of these different whiskeys, whether it be 4 or 8 or however many whiskeys get put together in these batches, there's a reason why they do it. And I'm actually learning slowly that's why there's different numbers to these batches.
Yeah, that's true too.
Because like number 1 was not as good as number 2.
Yeah.
Because they blended a different type of whiskey. Now I'm not saying that number 1 would be bad, but number 2 or number 3 or 4 has a different taste.
Because they do different things.
Yeah. So I'm learning a lot more of the differences, whether it be subtle or just slam into the wall.
Right.
Like this one, because this.
No, GrandDad.
This was a slam in the wall compared to the other 4. This was just an absolute
slam in the wall. What kind of way?
Good.
Yeah. Okay.
Very, very good. And again, guys, that 114 proof. Seriously.
If you're starting,
it's not even so much about the proof. It's literally that line. Right, where was it?
It's more complex. It's less watered down.
Commands all of your attention and then some.
Yes.
Yes.
Because it's less watered down. They use less water to proof it down, and so therefore you're getting way more of the complexities that came from the barrels that mix this up.
Yes. Yes. But all right. There we go.
Whiskey Dummies, our first episode. Thank you for joining us. Please like and subscribe the whole channel. Please give us your comments in the comment section, because that's usually the section where you would put a comment section. And thanks.